Hello, this is David Baumblatt from Terrabins Leadership. Welcome to the show. The title of this program said, I think it said, Chinese women, do Chinese women like American men? You could rephrase that, take out the Chinese women, put in Asian women. Not like we could easily put in non-white women, but obviously I focus on China/Asia. We'll keep the Asian women for this, and American men, take that out, white men. So make it very simple. Do Asian women like white men? If you even have to ask that, you're very ignorant. The answer is, of course it is. There's this thing called white fetish. No, not yellow fever. It's the white fetish. And that is Asian women, generally speaking, 99.9% are really into white guys. I should know. Now, make it known. You ever see these shows where they do finance? You know, they tell you about investing in stocks. And there's always that disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take, here's my disclaimer. As much as I talk about Asian women, and oh yeah, they are fun, and yes, they're submissive, I will get into the difference between Asian women in Asia and then Asian women in America. There's not that much difference. It's usually the dumb white man who doesn't understand the difference. But the disclaimer is, as much as I talk about them, I am not a fan, recommend, promote, or think it's a good idea to have mixed race kids. This is what you want, you do what you want. So the point is you could have relationships with people, and they don't even have to be sexual relations. I'm all about having friendships with people from other countries and races and whatever. But I think let's get to the point. We're talking about sex. We're talking about Asian women and white guys having sex. And I view Asian women, whether it's a mistress, friends with benefits, a sex friend, fun. Would I want to have children with them? Nope, not at all. Would I want to be seen in public with them? It's different in Asia. Being seen in public with an Asian woman, it's normal. I mean, they're all Asian there. I wouldn't really want to be seen with them in public in the West because it's a status uplift for them. And it's embarrassing for you, whether you know it or not. So I still recommend, if you're a white man, when it's time to have children, find a white woman. Even when I still think about partnership and love, and it's better to be with a white woman. But I will admit, with the Asian women, what feminism has done to white women, their attitude, it's horrible. And I just always like to make this statement too. It's a story that he's a good friend of mine, and that is a military veteran who got divorced, horrible, with a white woman in America. I think I said this is the story. They had 2 kids. Divorced, she wrecked this guy. He's got a bit of a hatred for white women, which is the same with me. I don't really have any problems with women that are non-white. It's the same political ideology I've said. It just, it's theirs. But Asian women, black women, Hispanic women, Arab women, I don't have a problem with them. White women are probably, this is the betrayal, have absolutely betrayed their fathers, their sons, their brothers, their boyfriends, their husbands. Horrible. So anyway, that was the story with him. And he said, hey, David, I'm not looking for, I don't want to have children anymore. He's like, I've already had 2 kids. They're 2 white kids in America. I'm done. He's tired of white women's attitude. And he said, I really want to find a woman who can really take care of me, submissive, this and that. He ended up going to Asian, getting with a nice Filipino girl. So if you do take children out of the picture, then it really changes in terms of Asian women. I'm like, yeah, I could tell you, how have Asian women treated me? Treated me pretty good. Like I said, I just don't want to have children with them. But they also, and I'm going to say this before we get into videos here, and that is, once you live in these societies, you will realize where is the hierarchical status. Now that status, the best way to understand that is look at items we put value in, like gold. Why does gold have value? Is because the populace, people put value in gold and there's a bidding and it comes up. It's the same thing with people. I mean, think about it. Why should men that are tall be more desirable than short men? I don't know. You got to ask the women. I mean, I'm sure we could put something in it, like some factual stuff. Maybe a taller man, he could fight better because he's got an advantage, and that makes women feel more safe. I mean, there's stuff, but at the end of the day, it's what women view as valuable. It's the same reason. Why do thin women had more value in a man's eyes than a fat woman. It's just how we look at beauty. So again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So whether you know this or not, the most beautiful people in the world, based upon the eyes of the beholder, is a white man and a white woman. So a white man and one. Again, I never went to Asia and I said, I'm a white man. I have a higher status than you, so you need to look up to me and I can look down upon you. I never said that. But after living in that, of course, it's like that. So in Asia, it's known. If you're a white man and you're dating an Asian woman, my status is higher than yours. Something that I always do to Asian women is sometimes if they feel that I'm asking too much of them, I say, well, then I'm a white guy and this is what I deserve. And if they're like, screw you, it's just because you're white, then find an Asian man. Then find an Asian man, and they don't want it. But I think we all agree that this is what you could look at is this is how we view value in the world of everything. It's subjective. It's subjective. Why is this thing valuable more than the other? I don't know. You have to ask the other people. But when you travel, what you'll realize is, and you probably get this already, Asian women in the West don't like a guy like me at all. It's very similar. We've always heard the story about the white guy who wants to get the girl. What is it, like the girl right off the boat? Remember that? You know, the immigrant right off the boat before she learns Western culture? That could be. And it's the same thing with Asian women in the West. You would think they would love a guy like me, whereas if she's Chinese American, like, oh my God, you speak Chinese. You're living in China. You know my culture. They don't want me at all because they know, and this is so common, when white guys live in Asia, they realize the status. And the status is this. White is here and Asian is here. And this is the same thing in India and in Africa. And so when this white guy goes back to America or Europe, that's in my mind, I can't, it's the same thing. When I see Asian men or women in America, let alone having citizenships or they're politicians or leaders, it's the weirdest thing. It's the absolute weirdest thing I could ever think. And the Asians know that. So in some ways, Asian women in the West avoid me like the plague. They want to find the dumb white man who knows nothing about Asia. And I'm telling you, so we're going to go some videos, but it's interesting. There's a little clip about Tucker Carlson talking about China. And for the same reason I say I'm a China expert, well, that also goes with women, meaning if you're going to be an expert on a country, you have to understand the people. This also includes the sexual relationships or whatever. And the point being is I used to find it to be very rude that Asian women are chasing white men and it's not fair to Asian men. But guess what Asian men want? White women. So I'm looking at you. To an Asian man looking at this, he could be pissed off like, look at this white guy. He's so arrogant. He's talking down upon our precious Asian women. You don't find Asian women precious. If you could get a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman, you're gone. So it's the same thing. The difference is there's more relationships with white men and Asian women than Asian men and white women. But the point is I did change my mind with Asian men, and that is the Asian men, if you don't want Asian women chasing white men, probably stop chasing white women. That would be my same thing I say with the black guys. I mean, you see it all the time and we'll keep going on this, but I said before, if I found a white woman who's had sex with black men, don't like it. It lowers her status. Now, a black man would say, that's so rude. How dare you say that? That's because you look upon your status as a black man lower than white people. Why? Because you don't want black women. I mean, show me there's a clip. I should add that clip. There was a clip I was gonna save on here, but it basically shows again how black men prefer white women. So over black women. So it goes on that. But anyway, let's go to some quick news today, see how it's looking. So the first thing is, let's go to Benny Johnson. I think all these influencers are just cucatellis. I mean, just cucatellis. But anyway, he's talking about Elon Musk saving the TSA, and he thinks it's just so cool. Really?
What's up, guys? We're going through TSA right now, and I just told my man that Elon is covering the salaries.
Appreciate you.
For the TSA workers who've been defunded.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And
thank you, bro.
They say thank you. There was a bunch of cheers. Like everyone cheered. I informed everyone behind us.
Take care.
Yeah. the man, a true patriot. I'm telling you, I just yelled it as we were going through. They had my camera, so I couldn't film it, but I yelled it as they were going through that Elon is covering the salaries of all of the TSA workers, and everyone cheered. And my man came up and he's like, I just wanted to shout out Elon.
Don't these guys look like schmuckatellis? Like, interesting, Benny. I mean, you know about me. I guess you don't care about military veterans, but the what I look at that is when we have to rely on a private multi-billionaire. I mean, you guy's going to be a trillionaire, Elon Musk, to keep the government going. And in fact, I just say defund TSA. I said many times, start defunding the government. But it's the same thing these schmuckatellis, MAGA, like, dude, thanks for Elon Musk. We got our First Amendment speech back with Twitter, with X. If we have to depend on a private business owner to give us our free speech, you know the system's already done. But it just is like, you know, my name's Benny Johnson, and I basically work for the establishment. That's why I don't really give a fuck about military veterans, unless I'm told by my boss to care about them. But let me tell you something, man. We got this guy, Elon Musk, who's a private billionaire, and because of him, our government's going to be funded. Well, that means our government's corrupt or absolutely incompetent as it is. It's not functioning. If we have to depend on a private donor. And what do I think about the TSA? I mean, nice guys, but I think all generally speaking, it's time to start defunding them. But Benny, man, he's a patriot. Benny's the type of guy who's like, man, we're in the Iraqi war for the right reason. President Trump, sorry, war's not going good. We need to install a military draft. Benny Johnson, you're being recruited. Benny's like, what? No. Yeah, go to war, Benny. Die for this country. Now we go to Laura Loomer. This is what I was talking about before. She's really, let me see. Everyone knows now the feud with Carl Tuckerson. I'm telling you, Carl Tuckerson, he's starting to speak more and more the truth. You know when speaking truth, because remember that old saying, first they will ignore you, second they will make fun of you, and third they will attack you. I'm in the first stage, totally ignored. But if all of a sudden you would watch, if all of a sudden my social media started getting picked up, I would start being attacked by the same people that ignored me. So first, I'm a military veteran. I'm asking for help. You've totally ignored me. But now I'm in the spotlight. Now you want to attack me, you piece of shit. These would be from the politicians to the conservative social media that are all about supporting military veterans. But what Tucker's going to say about China, I'm going to do a next video on it. But he's being attacked. He's not wrong. You're going to see it. Anyway, let's take a look at what he's doing. So this is Laura Loomer. She's just attacking him. Let's see what Tucker has to say.
The U.S. is not going to defend and cannot defend Taiwan. Now,
yup, I would say that's it. It's not going to happen, people. And if you think it is, let me make sure everyone can see this. And if you think it is, maybe you can say we'll do it. And if you think it is, well, then I hope the draft comes so you could die. It's just not going to happen. It's not our fight, people.
Not defend?
I don't know, should? I don't, that's not
I want to do this point. This is very interesting. This woman is an absolute feminist. This is from The Economy. You know that. She's got feminism written over her head. These people are evil. I've seen these female feminists. They've never served in the military, and they will never. But they will have no problem, because they have some hatred against men, particularly white men. And they would actually like it that white men get drafted and die for battles that they want to go into. It's kind of like Nancy Pelosi. What a piece of shit. Like, she goes to Taiwan. It's like these women, they like to start wars, but they're not going to fight. They're not going to send the men to die. So here you have this feminist who she's never going to fight and die in this war, but she thinks it's a good idea we should get in a war in Taiwan. And she thinks it's a good idea too, believe it or not, that men get drafted so they could die. She won't do it. This is part of evil.
I'm asking you to lay out what you think a coherent...
I think we've reached the limits of our power, and power has limits. Like, that's another thing just to keep in mind. Power is not infinite. You can squander it. And we're in the process of doing that.
And what about Japan and South Korea?
Oh, man, it's hard. I don't...
No, it's very simple, Tucker, and I'm going to help you out because I'm a China expert. So in terms of, we'll get to the, I know a lot of guys came on here because they're like, talk about the gooks and chinks and how much force they are and how much they'll worship white cock. We'll get to that. Calm your horses. But anyway, in terms of this, most people don't realize one of the reasons that we are not, that Donald Trump is being a pussy when it comes to NATO. I've said he needs to pull out of NATO instead of doing these threats. Believe it or not, there's a lot of powers that be, to include America. We don't want Germany to become strong militarily. I think it's a good idea. I have respect for the Germans. I have a totally different view on World War II, but a strong German military will add stability to this world. Now, what do I mean when she said about Japan and South Korea? It's time for the Japanese to build up their military. It's a counterbalance. So I would look to the Japanese, and the South Koreans next, but particularly to the Japanese. It is time to rearm. So when you have, because America, there's going to be a vacuum. And this is what these dumb neocons don't understand, because they're not going to die in these wars. You're going to die. Not me. I'm gone. I'm not paying my taxes, and I'm not going to be in any wars. I'm done. But the point is if you're in America, your taxes are going down the toilet, and you, or maybe your sons or daughters, I guess now, they're going to get drafted. But the point being is one of the ways to counterbalance this vacuum, because America is going to have to pull out. This is what Tucker's explaining. You cannot remain a superpower forever. It's never been done in history. In the history of mankind, superpowers come and they come. We're going into a multipolar world, so there's going to be a vacuum. Who should fill that vacuum? Two countries come to my mind, Germany and Japan. Don't think they have a good potential to build up a military. I thought they did a pretty good job in World War II. Japan and Germany have the potential, the capability, the history, the culture, whatever, to build up forcible militaries. And what will that do for the world balance? It will help. It will help stabilize the world. So anyway, to answer this cunt, she's a cunt. She's evil. You see these feminists all the time. They love to get you to die. It's like the girl. I've had a couple of these girlfriends before in America. They love to egg on fights. You see them in bars. They'll egg on fights. And then their boyfriend, you, the schmuckatelli, will have to come and defend them until you put your foot down and say, listen, bitch, you never open your fucking mouth in public unless I tell you, because you're going to start running your mouth. You're going to fucking disrespect these people. And then I'm going to be the one who's got to get in a fight to protect you. And it's going to be my teeth getting knocked out, not yours. So shut your fucking mouth. But these women, same thing. They're all about going into wars. They're not going to die. But anyway, back to the story. Taiwan ain't going to happen, people. I know it's going to break your heart because you're a cock. Like, I don't know why you really care about Taiwan. You don't care about military veterans. So I lived in Taiwan. It's a great place, but I'm not going to die for them. It ain't going to happen, people. You could learn it the easy way. You could learn it the hard way. It ain't happening. Taiwan's gone. Until then, go to Taiwan and fuck all the girls because they're fun. They are really fun girls to fuck. But I'm not going to die for them. 2, what about Japan and South Korea? I don't know, you dumb cunt. What about American military veterans that you don't care about? Like, she's like, I care so much about Japan. I care so much about South Korea. Well, why don't you care about American military veterans? Maybe she's from Britain. Then why don't you care about the UK? We always care about these other foreigners. But I would say the best solution for Japan and South Korea is to build up your military. Hence, Japan and Germany, rock on, forward march, build them. They can do it. They did it before. They can do it again. There's a lot of people, though, that don't want particularly Germany to build. Don't fool yourself. It's time for Germany to build. And it's a win-win. It's a win-win for American taxpayers because American taxpayers should stop funding Europe's security. I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. 1%, 5%. I believe in alliances. But the bulk of the soldiers, the money, the leadership for Europe should come from Europe. It is time for Deutschland to rise. Japan, same thing. So anyway, that's it. But there's going to be another episode. But Tucker is on attack. I would not be surprised now where the FBI is doing 2 things. They're trying to figure out what to charge them, but then they're also listening to Donald Trump because these are scumbags. It's a corrupt organization. It's like, but isn't law enforcement illegal, illegal, black and white? No, it's not. It's something called politics. So first they're going to try to find the crime, and they're trying, what can we do? What can we do? No, let's do more fishing expeditions. But then they're going to Donald Trump because Tucker Carlson's not the normal person. He's got a major political audience. So Donald Trump, which is totally illegal, by the way, and totally corrupt, he's going to have to sign off. And he's like, will this help MAGA or not? So they're going to work together. But trust me, Tucker Carlson is more and more in the crosshairs. We're going to do a video, probably next video, on Tucker Carlson in China, because that's where I'm coming from. Let's finish this video quick.
Understand exactly how that's going to go at all from an American perspective, but like In the end, big powers want to and get to control their regions. We have something called the Monroe Doctrine. This was another problem I had with Russia. It's like Russia, of course, is going to demand influence in Ukraine. And you could say, oh, it's a sovereign country. They can't have any influence there. Be real. A big power wants to control, hopefully in a non-brutal.
Like, why is this woman not at home with her children? Why? Because if you're a white man, you're a cock. That's why. How did these women, like I said, I always think out America, how did women become so powerful? How did immigrants become so powerful? How did racial minorities become so powerful? Because the white man's become weak. I mean, it's as simple as that. But you think I'm going to get lectured by this white woman who's never served in the military, who will never serve on a draft, and she's going to put pressure on me thinking, yeah, we need to go to war. Shut your fucking mouth. Go back in the bedroom and take care of your kids. Become a real woman, which is called a mother. It's amazing. I look at this stuff now. This is the problem. After living in China so long, I don't think I can, and guys know this who've served in the military or who's been in prison. They're very similar. Military and prison has something called indoctrination. Once you've been in prison, it's 6 years. Once you've been in prison for 6 years, you change to the point you cannot go back in normal society. It's very similar to military. There's a lot of military people that once they're in the military a long time, they can never adjust back to the civilian life. That's why a lot of them commit suicide. Can't do it. China's also like that for me. Once I'm in China, I could not imagine being lectured to by a woman about this stuff. Like, well, what are you talking? How did you even get to this status level? Anyway, let's finish this.
Enlightened way, but they want some influence over their neighbors. We can no longer be the sole author of terms, of commerce, of anything. We have to share power.
With China.
Of course.
No, with who, you dumb bitch? I don't know, Mars. It happens. And think about it, and let this woman's like, and I'd be like, you got a problem with that, bitch? Yeah. I don't want to share power with China. What are you going to do? You're going to pick up a rifle and go to war? You're not going to do anything. It's just so weird with these women, how powerful they are. Yeah, we're going to share power with China. This woman, well, I don't want to do that. What are you going to do? Well, I think we should attack them. Not you. You're not going to go to war. You mean you want white men to go die for you? I mean, I don't have a problem. I think the gookies, chinkies are nice people. I think they should be separate. I'm not into having them get citizenship to America. But overall, I don't really have a problem with them. I mean, it's like the world. I mean, this is the world we live in. There's going to be diversity. I would say focus more of our effort on America falling apart. Focus more attention maybe on American military veterans. Isn't that a novel concept? Worry less about the Chinese and maybe more about American military veterans. I mean, if you want to go to war, you're going to need military veterans to fight and die for you. You probably need to treat them with more respect.
Because of their scale. And so there's got to be a non-destructive way to do this.
Okay, one thing we're going to go here. The one thing that I got to give Donald Trump, let me just do this. Donald Trump, I still mean it. He's still the best leader I've ever seen. He has got such an alpha male persona, but there's also something else with leadership, part of humor. It can't be taught. There's certain things in leadership. One is also curiosity. It can't be, there's certain things that just can't be taught. You either have it or you don't. One of them is humor, some people. But what Trump is able to do, I think it's hilarious. And trust me, in Japan, it's similar to Germany. It's very, what he says here, it's very sensitive. Like, I can't imagine if he made this sort of joke with the Germans or like he's doing in Japan. But he does it. He gets away with it. And I find it funny too. But this is Donald Trump. And this is leadership in action.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay. Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay. Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And
all right, last one, then we're going to get into in today's topic. This is just current news. Let's hear what's going on in Iran. I think it's going to be a meat grind.
20% of the planet's oil flows through this 21-mile wide strip. Iran owns one side and has it locked down tight. Mobile anti-ship missiles hidden in the mountains, thousands of sea mines, swarms of explosive speedboats, diesel subs hugging the coast, Mach 3 ballistic missiles that can reach a carrier from 200 miles out. Iran has drilled closing the strait for decades. It's not hype, it's a ready-made kill zone. Send in an American carrier strike group to commandeer it. Confined waters, no room to maneuver. Iran saturates the sky with cheap ballistic missiles that maneuver at Mach 3. Swarm boats scream in at 50 knots. Mines shred propellers. Subs fire torpedoes at point blank. Pentagon war games are brutal. Ships sunk. Hundreds of sailors dead in 48 hours. The strait blocked with burning wrecks. Oil spikes to $300 a barrel, and the global economy implodes. Pure meat grinder. Jagged Zagros Mountains, vast central desert, narrow passes. Land invasion to secure it from inside? Iran is a fortress on steroids. The Zagros Wall, 900 miles of rock and ice, funnels attackers into kill zones. Then 500 miles of salt flat desert that melts tank tracks. Every city sits in a mountain bowl. Terrain where a handful of defenders with RPGs and drones can stop a division cold. Bigger than Texas and California combined. 88 million people who will actually fight. Supply lines collapse instantly. Body bags stack faster than Vietnam. America talks tough. Reality doesn't care. Any strike group or invasion force walks straight into a meat grinder, built over decades by geography and firepower. The strait stays locked. The price in blood and dollars is never worth paying.
Well, that's going to be a complete failure. Give it time, you'll see. Okay, let's go today's episode. Now, what I want to make sure we know is part of this topic is, yes, it's grins and giggles and sex, and it's a human topic. We like to, racial topics, sexual topics. It's fun, it's educational. But the second part, though, it goes to leadership. What do I keep saying? Faith, family, freedom. What's one of the reasons that America is going to collapse? Well, we're not reproducing, meaning think about family, European. And so what I do want to do is make sure we understand is there is such a push in America on interracial relationships, interracial kids, making the white man more meek and this and that. And this also leads to a lot of the issues with feminism from white women, where feminism is making white women so unattractive with their behavior. It is pushing more white men to include me. There's no doubt. Asian women, how they treat me, because I can compare. Most of the women I've dated in my life were white. And in Asia, while I'm dating Asian women, I dated a few Asian girls in America. It was mostly friends with benefits, but it was usually the white girlfriend was what I prefer. But now I'm Asian. So the point is I can compare both. And I can tell you something, Asian women, they treat me, oh my God, much better than white women, much better. And so the point is to the white women, what you have to realize is feminism is going to eventually, if you don't realize it or not, it's going to push you right to the wall. And you know what the wall is? The wall is by the time you get to 35 or 40, you're not going to have any more kids anymore. You're going to be lonely. You're going to be living with cats, and no man is going to find you attractive. And then you're going to realize that feminism sold you a broken dream. That's the wall. And so the point is the way Asian women treat white men, it's actually very nice. I just draw the line that I'm just not interested in having mixed kids with them. But other than that, they're really good. So let's just talk. But the point that I want to make sure here is we do some stories in Asia is what is being fed to white men in the West. I mean, is this news, anyone? I mean, the amount of bullshit that's going out in news, whether it's about politics or war, religion or whatever, feminism, racism, it is so much falsified propaganda in the direction to make white men weak that you're not getting the truth. And that's the key to find this out. So let's go with the first video. And a lot of this is westernized propaganda. Some of it's in the East. But the point is, I'll tell you one thing. What did I learn in the East? One, the white man is the least racist person around. Ding, ding, ding. And two, in terms of attractiveness, we're not chasing them. They're chasing us. Meaning non-whites are chasing white women. Non-whites are chasing white men. That's the truth. It hurts if you're sensitive, but that's how it is. Let's go with this first one. This is an Asian woman in America, and she's talking out her asshole.
That chooses a white guy. Why would you? I've gotten messages before saying, like, why would you continue this narrative? Oh, another Asian girl that chooses a white guy.
Yup, another Asian girl that chooses a white guy, it's 99%. Okay, maybe 99.9 or maybe 98%. It's right around there. Next question.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Because it's a status symbol, because Asian women look at white men as a higher status. Women look up and men look down. So most men cannot get a beautiful looking white woman, so they settle with a gook. Now, again, unless she's a mistress or friends with benefits and you still have your high status white woman, but if you literally pick an Asian woman as your prime woman, 90% of the time it's because you cannot get a high status white woman. That's it, people. That's the story. But she's going to continue to bullshit you.
Actually, I find it a little sad because anytime there's hater messages, it comes from someone who's like unhealed, unhappy, onto a stranger.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm happy with sex. I mean, when you're a white guy in Asia, it's very difficult to beat that status of sexual, I guess, bliss. I'm not angry, but what I don't like is part of leadership is you got to tell the truth. And the truth is she prefers white men because she wants to move up on the status. That's the truth. Let's see what she says.
On the internet, making assumptions. Like they assume I don't like Asian guys.
Probably she doesn't like Asian guys. Probably she prefers white guys over Asians. That's my guess.
Or that white people are superior.
I never said white people are superior, but she did. Yes, she believes white people are superior. You don't see her wanting to go back to Gook land, do you? No, she wants to stay in white land. What is an Asian woman's dream? White man, white passport, white kids. 99% of them. That's their dream.
Regular reasons you marry someone. Timing, similar values, you're attracted to them.
Not really. It's bullshit. Number one reason women want men is status, moving up, which goes into money, education, height, race, all this stuff. Women, it's just boom, moving up. And that's just not for Asian women. That's with all women. But when you're a white woman, you're already on that status. So a white woman with a white man, she feels like you got to even do more because she's like, I'm already white. But if you're an Asian woman and you're an ugly white guy, that's enough because you're a white guy. So yeah, status plays into this picture.
And just because I'm attracted to one white guy doesn't mean
You're not, but you're probably attracted to 99% of white guys. We know. Keep going.
Not attracted to any Asian guys because I've dated.
You're attracted to 1% of Asian guys. Okay, maybe 2%.
Dated across the board. I was a hoe, okay?
Okay, so she dated across the board. So that means she's got a lot of experience. And then who did she finally choose after all this experience? She chose the white guy. Okay.
I've dated across the board. Amazing Asian guys, amazing Latin guys, all over the place, okay? And it just happens that the person.
It just happened. So amazing guys across the board. And it just so happened that I settled on a white guy. No, she hit the lotto. That's how it is. She hit the lotto to be with a white guy.
And I chose is white.
Okay, so that's bullshit. Well, see, the problem is if this was in Asia, this would be very different. This is the problem with white men. You got to be very careful about dating Asian girls in the West, because you need to put them in their place with their status. The problem is they've been indoctrinated that we're all equal. It's a problem, but it's not, because like I said, there's stuff in human nature. There's stuff that we say, which most of the time is bullshit because we try to protect ourselves, protect our persona. So that's why we lie. And then there's the actions we do. We know that. It's like, listen, it's like a girl. She's like, I don't care how much money a man makes. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care about status. I just care about love. That's the bullshit. Now watch the men that she gets. Boom. Who's got the biggest dick? Who's got the biggest wallet? Who's the tallest? Who's the whitest? So you have to ask, what do they do? Not necessarily what do they say. So let's go to Asia, where these topics, they don't have to lie about. Why? Because they don't have this bullshit communist propaganda in the West. It's very well known. So here we go. Let's do this.
かっこいい。優しい。
白人男性についてどう思いますか？
かっこいいと思います。ジェントルマン、内面。
I say again, if you're a white guy in Asia and you cannot get a lot, I don't know how to define a lot right now, but we're saying you're doing very good with Asian girls. Something is seriously wrong with you. I could care less if you're like a yo-yo English teacher. You're some fat, roly-poly white guy. If you're in Asia you should be able to have a satisfactory or a phenomenal sex life or whatever, relationships, marriage, what do you want? You should not have problems picking up Asian women. If you do, something in that equation is off severely. I've never heard of a white guy in Asia either not doing good or just destroying it. That's how it is.
エロい。かっこいい。優しい。エロい。礼儀がすごい。エロい。エロい。
So remember, the women in Asia will be more forthcoming about white men are sexy, but Asian women in America, not so much. Why? It's our political indoctrination in America. You know, white men are evil, white men are bad, racism is bad, we're all equal. It's communism. So we have communism in America, but in Asia and Japan too, these are all fascists. These are all fascist countries where race is real. Remember, part of fascism is racism, and racism is as real as day in Asia. So they could talk about this stuff. For the same reason they could say, hey, do you like black men? They'd say, fuck no. Not every Asian girl, just 99% of Asian women would say that. They're not into it. Where in the West, we don't want to say that. Well, no, I love black guys. The only race is cool to say, one second. The only race that's cool to say you don't like in the West is who? White men. It's cool. It's like, man, I don't like white men. They're boring. You know, so again, it's a lot of this communist propaganda, but when you go to the East, they don't really have that. And they could say it what it is. And what is it? White is right. It's coming from them. It's not me.
実際に白人男性と付き合いたいとは思いますか？
めっちゃ憧れでした。外人さんとお付き合いしてみたいなって思ったことは全然あります。
ちっちゃい時からずっと思ってました。
で実際に付き合ったことは
ないです。めっちゃあるし、高校生の時その英語を教えてくれる ALT みたいな先生にガチ恋してました。
ないですね。逆に美しすぎて、なんか同じ人間というよりかは、なんか映画とか芸術。
So the ones I actually don't like to watch so much in Asia. Why? Because they speak the truth. The best videos are the videos in the West, like America, that talk about black and white and Asian and all this stuff. It's bullshit to the max. So I think this is one. This will be more interesting.
What? See what I'm saying? Like, can we be honest there?
Oh no, not yet. I want to go on this one. 1 second.
Hear the truth about white guys. They all love Asian women.
Hold on. This sounds she's like in the West. First of all, 1 second.
Are you kidding me?
Stormy? You look like mommy, baby.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Hear the truth about white guys. They all love Asian women.
No, there's no doubt. I find Asian women fun. But I've never in my life looked upon. Let me tell you something, how you change in Asia. This is, again, why Asian women in the West don't want a guy like me. This is how it is in status symbol. I could date Asia's #1 model. I don't even know who she is. I don't even pay attention to this stuff. I mean, when it comes to modeling, I'm just looking at white girls, but whatever. The China or Japan or Vietnam, Thailand, the #1 model, the most beautiful looking girl. Am I going to have fun having sex with her? Absolutely. But I still would look at her as the #1 model, and I'm an older white guy. I would still look at her as she lucked out, meaning she's moving up on the status, not me. You'd be like, are you kidding me? She's like a 20-year-old hot model. Yeah, I mean, from a sex friend standpoint, I'd have fun with her, but that's about it. Once you're there, you will realize the status is so phenomenally big and clear that at the end of the day, these women are chasing white men for status. And that's where you have to, whether you like it or not, I get it. I don't like these white women. Their feminism, it's destroying them. But the DNA of a white woman is the highest status. And there's no doubt, I could care less if this Asian woman is, like I said, the #1 model. And then I'm still, it's like, she's a gook, nice gook. When I say gook can change, a lot of times I'm saying this in positive, jokingly manner. But still, at the end of the day, my status is higher than hers. Why? I didn't say it, she said. Don't believe me? Go to Asia.
Even though this is like Latinos or white girls, but secretly, they all wish the Chinese girl would care them enough to ride their dragons.
No, I mean, I think a nice Chinese girl would be fun to have a mistress. That'd be cool. I do. I think Asian girls would be cool as a mistress. And that's about it.
On the street is that Asian women are simping over white men. And to make it worse, they are bashing Asian men. So there's this study going on called the Oxford study.
Do you think that is trend?
Yeah, I don't even know. I've heard of this Oxford study. I don't even need to study the Oxford study. It's true. Anyone with common sense knows it's true.
Right now, and so many people are.
It is called the Oxford study.
Something about like the into white guys.
1 second.
Are comparing this to the colonial era, but some Asian women are standing against it.
I'm also not.
So this Asian woman sounds like a cunt. She sounds like her English is so well, she probably could be born and raised in the West. And she thinks she's so cool, meaning she has the problem with her is her attitude. You're going to see she has been, because she goes for only the top white guys, because she thinks, this is interesting. Write down these notes. This is Psychology 101, free stuff. I've seen these Asian women. They believe their status is on par with a hot white woman. So hot white women, Asian women. Most Asian women know that's how they are. White woman, there. But there's some Asian women that are like, fuck no, I graduated Harvard, I'm hot, I'm just the same as a white woman. So they will only go to the top white men. Because most Asian girls, the white guy with them are the secondary white guys. It's 90%, you know, meaning, like I said, even me, I still would prefer white women, always have. But 90% of the time, if you see a white man, 90% white man with an Asian woman, he can't get a top white woman. And he just takes her a second place. It's pathetic. I get it. It is what it is. Back to the Asian woman. She's like, no, I'm on the same status as white women. So I'm not taking, I guess it would be leftover white men. I want the same top white men that are with the top white women. The problem is these top white men have turned her down, pumped and dumped, and so she's got a chip on her shoulder because she thinks she's literally the same status as white women. She chases top status white men, and those white men don't treat her very well because these white men are like, "Are you kidding me? We're not in the same league." So she's got a chip on her shoulder. This is what you'll hear. These are these type of Asian women.
Into white guys, and I don't know. Something about like the colonialism look isn't really my thing. And
colonialism look, that's why she probably speaks better English than Chinese. She doesn't want to go back to China. She doesn't like gooks, meaning colonialization. We don't have to colonialize you. You want to be as white as can be.
I could colonize you, girl.
No, I'm really good. I really don't want to be an Oxford study. And I just feel like the blue eyes, there was a thing about it being like a sign of inbreeding. And
no, so see the attacks. So you can tell she's got anger. No, these Asian girls go bonkers over blue eyes. So you can tell they're, unless this is acting, unless these shows are all acting shows or something like that. But when CJ knocked the bottom, it would take a rare Asian chick for me to possibly consider her. Yeah, I would never. Now, like I said, if I was subscribing to Dream Life for a white man, I would probably throw some Asian women in there as mistresses, friends with benefits. They're fun. Trust me, in bed, these girls are fun. But being seen out in public with them, it's cool for them. It's not cool for you. Two, I'm not having any mixed kids because trust me, the Asian girls are going to say, yes, my kids have just moved up on the DNA ladder. Well, that means you moved down on the DNA ladder. Also, you got to remember, even a guy like me who speaks fluent Chinese and living in China, it's still cultural. I've always said this, when you try to find your mate, your partner, try to find a woman who's actually has more similarities than differences with you, because these international relationships, it's tough. There's a lot of things, but there is that cool exoticness when it's different, but purely when it's a sexual relationship. It's think of friends with benefits only. Like, she's my sex friend, that's it. But a woman where you're going to live with, you're going to have children with, you're going to be seen out in public with, no way. I'm embarrassed. Now, I'm seen out in public with Asian women in Asia, It's just hard to do. It just is what it is, and everyone's fucking Asian. So, I mean, I'm getting looked at either way. But if I was in the West, I really feel uncomfortable to be seen with an Asian girl. It's not for me. It's once you've seen this stuff, you'll understand what I'm saying. For the same reason that Asian girls, they don't want to be with black men. Well, no, they don't want to be with Indian men. So however coarse and rude I sound, it's like this David, he's so hierarchical, he's so rude, well, that's the same way they are. If you don't think you're a white guy, these women, again, Asian women are basically, they want white men or they'll go with Asian men. They're really not going outside that. Why? Because they look at those men as inferior and they look at their DNA going down and they look at themselves as losing face, walking with a black man out. It's very different.
I definitely can see it when you say you're a little mentally deficient because I can tell, just.
She's just jealous. Now, again, she's the typical Asian girl that wants top white men, and she was turned down by many.
How do you feel when you see these beautiful Asian girls with some mid white guy?
Now that's true. Like I said, you'll see that a lot. You'll see yo-yo white guys in Asia pulling. But see, it's hard for me to say that because this is how much I've changed in Asia. Let me explain it to you. The Miss World beauty pageant, what is it? Miss Universe, Miss International, Miss Universe, these beauty pageants. After living in Asia, those beauty pageants, for me, have got to totally be changed. Why? Because an Asian woman, a black woman, a white woman, all competing for beauty, it's apples and oranges. Now, it's true, if there's an ugly white woman and a really attractive Asian woman, okay, I guess you could say I'll take meaning the Asian woman's more beautiful. But if there's a white woman and an Asian woman together, they can't compete because I'm looking at it's the same thing. If you don't understand my mentality, think about this. Let's have a beauty contest between a man and a woman. A man and a woman. Now, it's possible if the man is really ugly and the woman is really beautiful, or vice versa, where you could say winner, loser. But what if there's a good-looking guy and a good-looking girl? And you say, who's better looking? You're like, they're not the same. There should be a separate contest, which is normal. The men compete with men, the women because there's different beauty standards. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing going to change in my mind. Generally speaking, blonde hair, blue-eyed white women are the most beautiful women in the world. So it's just, it's the same thing. If I looked at, but we can't do it in the West because that would be racism. I would say these beauty pageants need to be by race, and they don't need to compete against each other, meaning it's fine, meaning she's the most beautiful Asian woman in the world, she's the most beautiful African woman in the world, and then it's like, okay, so now they're going to compete at the highest level. No, we don't need to do that because I'm just not, it doesn't make any sense to me. So you're a black woman and you've been rated as the most beautiful looking black woman in the world. Congratulations. But I'm gonna take the white woman. It's always going to be with the white woman. So even and that's what I'm telling you about when they talk about the top Asian girl with a low class white guy. I get it, and we could see it, but it's still not. And after living in Asia, meaning a good looking Asian girl and a low level white guy, generally speaking, it's still like that. It's just still like that. So it's the best example I could do is the beauty pageant. I can't, like if I was a judge at a beauty pageant and I saw a beautiful black woman, a beautiful white woman, and a beautiful Asian woman, and they say, who's the most beautiful? It's the same thing with, I'm like, these are apples and oranges. They're all beautiful, but I'm taking the white girl. So I have this bias. So it's hard for me to compare. Once you're there, you're going to realize, generally speaking, throughout the world, what is considered the most beautiful? It's white men and white women. Just do the surveys, you'll see it.
To be honest, but
Man's living the Cinderella thing.
Yeah.
It's conditioning. Like how I see it is people like white guys because of how they're conditioned and they're brought up. Disney films, for example.
See, now they're doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe so why do Asian women like white men? Well, why do Asian men like white women? It's the same thing. Same thing with black. Why do black women like white men and black men like? I would say this, generally speaking. One, there's a status. I mean, think about what language are we speaking? We're speaking English. That's a European language. And oh, by the way, they love German, they love French, they love European. They also like our looks. There is something biological. These lighter skin colors, these lighter hair colors, they just like it. There's a culture status. I mean, you could do whatever reasons you want. At the end of the day, it is what it is. We are not chasing them. They are chasing us. As a white guy, and remember, if you're like, well, if the white is so much, why don't you leave Asia and come back to America? Well, that's my case with my passport. Obviously, I'm not welcome back there. But also, there's an issue with the West where it's falling apart. Where, think about this. I don't want to change the subject. What if there all of a sudden was a nation? I mean, maybe it is in Eastern Europe. I guess maybe Eastern Europe would be there, where it was like truly a whites only nation or a whites predominant nation. Yeah, maybe we think about that. But anyway, back to this in terms of why do these people like white people? You got to ask them. But I could tell you from me, they just look at white people in all the dimensions, the beauty, they have the status, their countries, their culture. It's across the board.
So I mean,
okay, this is the way I feel. Okay, I agree to this that we talked about. It's all conditioning. It's all the way that you're brought up, and for the most part.
Well, not really, because I'm going to call bullshit on this, because I'm telling you, if you go to Asia, they love white men. If you go to the West, they love white men. And so it is, meaning we're looking at, and the same thing with blacks, meaning these could be people in America, non-whites, born and raised in the West, or non-whites, born and raised in the non-West. Very similar, very similar. They're chasing beautiful white men and beautiful white women in the West, and they're chasing them in the non-West. So different cultures, meaning an Asian person growing up in America, an Asian person growing up in China. They're still both chasing it. Is it stronger in Asia? Yeah, I'd probably say it would be stronger. I would say that, probably because there's less white guys too. Maybe that is something. But it's still like that in America. I mean, Asian girls are still chasing white men in America.
It used to piss me off because like I'd be in a club, just like did something happen that I kind of, to be honest, everything is a projection on itself, right? Bro, she does not even think twice about me. I could be.
They don't. I'm telling you, Asian women are not into Asian guys. But my point to the Asian guys is this: Asian women look down upon you. They look upon you as a lower status person. Why? Because you look upon Asia as lower status. Why don't you want to go back to Asia? Because you look at the West, that means white, as a higher status than Asia. It's the same thing. You ever see an Asian guy who's able to get a white woman? It's like he won the lotto. Why are you as an Asian man putting white woman at a higher status than Asian women? I don't know. You tell me. But it's you, Asian man and Asian women, that put white people. I want to say this right now. This whole concept of white supremacy, I've changed my mind. Who do I consider to be the white supremacists in the world? Non-whites. Black people are white supremacists. Asian people are white. You look upon white people as supreme. Not us. I mean, white people, we look upon white people as normal. I mean, I don't look upon a white man or a white woman as supreme. I just look upon them as my fellow kin. You look upon us, though, as you're moving up the DNA ladder. You're supremacist. You should have more respect for your Asian family, for your African family, whatever it is, and stop chasing white people. That would be my thing. But don't fool yourself. If an Asian man is able to pull a white woman, oh my God, he's dropping Asian women. He's going off with the white woman.
Good looking to her, but because of the way that she's projecting onto it, if you're an international female student, and this is your first time seeing a white guy, more life to you, bro. Do your thing. But sooner or later, if you keep on doing that, and you kind of have this like self-loathing mindset, then that's on you. But if you grow out of that and you realize that, oh, like maybe that was just like more something that I'm like not familiar with. There's other guys out there, there's other people of the culture, regardless of race. It's not like a be-all.
Yeah, and also don't fool yourself. These Asians are some of the most racist people. You don't think the Chinese look upon the Cambodians and the Vietnamese as low-level gooks? I like the Japanese. They're racist too. They look upon themselves as the superior. The racism is through the roof in Asia. So if you're looking at me like, how dare I put people in hierarchical stuff? Like, how dare you judge people? Are you kidding me? Have you ever been to Asia? Have you ever been to India with the class systems? America is the least racist country in the world because we have communism in America. We're all equal. We're all equal. We're all equal. White men, their biggest fear is I just don't want, it's like, God, before I go to bed tonight, can you please tell me I wasn't a racist today? That's our biggest fear. The racism in Asia is through the roof. So this sort of classification, that's what I'm telling you. A lot of these non-whites come to America and they pour a lot of this bullshit propaganda on whites, and whites start believing it. Yeah, about racism and all this stuff. It's a complete lie.
End all solution. Like, is this something that, okay, like it's more like a growth thing? So that's my 2 cents about it. It doesn't bother me now.
All I'm saying is, right, as much as yellow fever exists, on the same playing field, white fever exists within the Asian.
Well, I'm so glad I haven't seen this whole video. In fact, I don't even need to see these videos because I know the answer. I'm telling you, I've got a lot of experience. If you look at my resume, anything that I do, I pour a lot of time, money, and effort into it. One of the things I want to do is become a China expert, not for the women, but if you're going to become a China expert, like any expert, you have to understand the people, and you learn this. But notice when he said yellow fever, I was just about to say, shut the fuck up. It's not, it's what, but then he said, but there's something called white fever. It ain't yellow fever, people. It's white fever. I say again, I would only say 10% of white guys with Asian girls, that is their #1 pick. 90% of white guys with Asian girls are there only because they could not get the hot white girl. Are you kidding me? You show me. And that's another thing. I've got a lot of experience with women, except for white women. I've never been intimidated by women, but I'm telling you, you show an absolutely stunning white woman. We're not talking whore like these OnlyFans prostitute porno girls. That's past my stage. I'm talking like a beautiful woman where you're like, man, I would love to have children with her. I would love to marry her. They are so beautiful, they could kind of make you nervous. I've never had that feeling in Asia. People introduce me like this is the hottest girl around. I don't know. They're all gookies, chinkies. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like a high schooler hanging out with elementary kids. Like you're just on a different level. So it's not saying I've never been intimidated by women, but if it was, it's a very, very beautiful white woman where you're just like, hello, like there's a bit of nervous to you. I've never had that with Asian girls. I've never, and because I know it, I've been with Asian guys who are like, oh my God, she's so hot with this Asian girl. I'm nervous. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not nervous at all. You'll see it. So black women, Arab women, that's why I don't have any also anger. I have no issues with non-white women because they're not me. I'm not them. I don't have a problem with them. I think they're nice, but they've never betrayed me. But white women have absolutely betrayed white men. And on top of that, though, is who do I think is absolutely the most gorgeous, beautiful women on earth? Oh my God, it's white women. End of story. But like I said, we'll keep going. But at least he mentioned at the end, white fever. To me, absolutely. This whole thing of yellow fever, that's like saying America's racism. It's another propaganda, yellow fever. No, I don't see it. I see white fever.
So these are Asian men. They've given their perspective on this issue. They're saying that these...
Yes, we do.
At their type, you get me, fam? So ridiculous.
Question of the day for the men. Do Asian girls love white boys?
Don't ask stupid questions.
Yes, we do.
Another one.
So I just met this Japanese girl and she immediately started kissing me. So this is what Japan is really like, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, though, the sexual experience that I've had in Asia is through the roof. Just because the truth be told, I could never, I mean, I was always considered an attractive white guy. But if you're trying to get an attractive white woman, you still have to, I mean, in Asia, oh my God. I mean, from threesomes to foursomes to doing, and you're not spending any money on these girls. But that's the one thing though, and it's a sad story. This is really sad. I want to tell this story. I think I might have told it before. I want to go through, we have another video, but I met this one white guy in China and I was telling him like, dude, you know, if you're going to have sex with an Asian girl, have sex. But because I was starting to feel like this guy was falling in love with these Asian girls. He told me a story, and he wasn't exactly that good looking of a white guy, but he told me the story, and I actually felt sorry for him, sad. And then I was like, all right, do what you got to do. He told me that in America, he was an incel. He's never had sex. He was a virgin. And he told me that white girl, and he said, he goes, I always wanted to be with white women, but they like looked at him as a ghost, paid no attention to him, nothing. He never had a girlfriend. I mean, he tried. He was a little shy, a little awkward, but he's like the white women. And he goes, this is the, I mean, you could almost cry in a way. He goes, this is the first time in my life, he told me, that a woman, an Asian woman, but nonetheless a woman, has just showed him affection and or compliment him like, wow, you've got a nice smile. And I thought about that and I thought, that's a fucking bleak life to live in America, a really bleak. And it just shows how spoiled white women are. And so I thought to myself, you know, I'm still not into the mixed kids and stuff, but I can understand how a white guy who lives, say, in the West and just gets absolutely either insulted or ignored totally by white women, never had any type of affection, that all of a sudden you go to Asia and you get Asian girls like, oh, you have so big muscles. Oh, you're so good looking, white man. I mean, for some of these guys, it's like, holy fuck. And I've seen it. And all I could say is, man, I don't know. The West is fucked up. It's really fucked up with white women. We have absolutely spoiled these women, but that's a different white guys. And in fact, they're not, that's a lot of white guys that I've seen in Asia, meaning guys that had trouble with women in the West. They come to Asia and it's the first girlfriend they've ever had, and they're overwhelmed by it. But it is what it is. A lot of these stories.
Yeah, that's what Japanese girls are like.
For most Asian American women, marriage to white men is considered highly advantageous, and our families really encourage it. It's not like the struggle, interracial love that our parents oppose because they want us to have Asian husbands. Absolutely not, no. It might have been that way like decades ago, and some communities discourage it more than others. I think Koreans really prioritize marrying other Koreans. That's at least what my ex-boyfriend told me.
Remember, you're listening to a gook. I've seen her clip. She's a gook. She was born and raised in America. These are some of the biggest bullshit artists you've ever seen. Because think about it, if you really want to understand authentic, meaning I probably know more about China than she does. You know, just because she's Asian, that means she understands the culture more. No, she probably doesn't even does she even speak Chinese. But you got to be very careful when you're getting Asian cultural lessons from Asians that are born and raised in America. It's not going to come out. But this girl's got a chip on her shoulder. I sort of know her background, and it's similar. She's a Harvard grad. She considered herself top-notch. She only wanted top-notch white men, and she got turned down by a lot of top-notch white men. And so she's got a chip on her shoulder.
But at least in China and for Chinese Americans, which is what I am, getting a white husband is a flex. It is something that you show off to your entire family. You talk about how your kids are going to have blonde hair and blue eyes, even though they're not. Your whole family is going to be so excited.
At least she's saying that. This is absolutely true.
That you got an American husband. Yes, even if you are Asian American, they will call only white people American.
That's also a fact. In Asia, unless you're white, they don't consider you a European. They don't consider you. I told you stories. The African Americans hate Asia because that's when the African Americans go to Asia and they want to emphasize their American citizenship. And Asians will be like, you look African to me, and all their African pride goes down the toilet because they would rather be an American. But yeah, in Asia, because I'm white, I am considered an American, European, Canadian. That's what they consider to be what a real American is.
Thing. They always view it as a step up in life, even if your white man is broke, even if he treats you badly in front of everybody.
Okay, so she's speaking some, again, I didn't see this video. She seems to be speaking truth here.
They'll just say, why aren't you working hard enough for his acceptance? If you do more, then he will really accept you and he won't cheat on you with a younger Asian woman. Absolutely not. And I know this view is so prevalent because a lot of divorced older Chinese aunties will swear off Asian men and only go for white men, specifically Trump supporters. There's also this idea in our community that Asian men are a lot more misogynistic than white men, which is absolute bullshit. Misogyny just looks different. And if you are raised culturally Chinese, you will not be as attuned to the way that misogyny shows up in Western society and how it will show up in your marriage to a white man. So TLDR, we are highly encouraged to do this. And we will be praised by our families for the rest of our lives for marrying a white guy.
There you go. I'm not going to add anything.
You have an exclusive.
They are parenting this woman badly. They're just happy. This woman has gotten an American.
I guess this is a black guy. Also, here's something else too. There's a lot of jealousy with black guys that Asian women prefer white men. They're really jealous. It's like ding, 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 black guys. That's not our first preference. Our first preference is white women, just like you black guys prefer white women. But I see this a lot. There's jealousy more and more of black men because the difference between Asian women and say white women in America are they're so filled with communist propaganda that they're forced to say, oh, I'll fuck any guy, I'll marry any guy, I'll have a mixed baby, I love all guys. Like they have to. Asian women are just more like, no, I prefer white men. Like it's just even in America, they're just more conditioned. Or they may not say it in the West, but they'll do it. They'll just be like, I'm only dating white guys. And so, but I've seen that more and more. There's a jealousy of black men that Asian women prefer white men. My advice to black men is go find black women. What's wrong with black women? You find black women to be the ugliest women on the planet. That's not my fault. I would say these black women are your mothers, your sisters, and you should have loyalty to them and go find a nice black woman. You're a black man, go find black women. But they really love white women and Asian women. But you'll notice that there's a lot of this on the internet now of black men getting really angry because, again, an Asian woman will be more forthright than a white woman about, I only like white men. It's rare. I mean, it is rare to find a white woman that's on the internet that's like, I only date white men. You know, it's just cool for a white woman to be like, fuck white men. I like black men. It's like, yeah, Asian women. And so it irks black men more. And it just shows how much of an inferiority complex you black men have. Why? Who cares about Asian women? Who cares about white women? Focus on black women, but you don't find them. Trust me, anyone knows. I have mentioned, I still think it would be cool to have an Asian mistress, but generally speaking, who would I be happy the rest of my life? White women. That's it. White women to me can pretty much fulfill all my needs. They have a cultural problem thanks to feminism. But anyway, back to the black guys. Focus on black women.
Boyfriend. Very crazy.
I don't know who I heard this from. You have an exclusive white dudes only policy. Is this true?
Kind of, yeah.
All right, let's hear this.
It's not like intentional, I feel like. For some reason, I just attract white dudes.
Wait, is that your type?
So again, these Asian women are in the West. They'll still be more open about how they prefer white men, where white women won't. I think it's cool for white women to say they like black men. It's a cool thing. So that's why black men are like, yeah, man, we've got the white women, but they don't feel like they've got Asian women, and they just feel jealous. But again, you'll see Asian women to be more forthright to just say they prefer white men.
Though. What is about those white guys? I'm curious.
In the Philippines, they'd be like, when you grow up, you should marry like a rich, white, tall guy.
Oh, it's like a status thing?
Yeah,
it's like having a Chanel purse. A white guy is an accessory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, part of that. That's true.
Exactly. I mean, I've gone on Tinder and all that. I'd be matching with like other races and all that too. I just didn't know how to fit in with their type of vibe.
What is the race of?
What do you mean fit in with their type of vibe? Why don't you fit in with an Asian man? Were you saying that? No, they don't like Asian men. They like white men.
Guy you are least attracted to?
Probably Filipinos.
What did I just say? They are the least. What did I keep saying? What's the least attractive men on this planet? Asian men. What are the least attractive women on this planet? Black women. It's sensitive. I know. It's very sensitive. But again, I'm not saying it. It's in the eyes of the beholder. But what I don't want to do, and the reason why white people like me are saying this is, it's not that I want to attack Asian men or attack black women, because it is sensitive, and I do think it is sensitive rude to say that. But we're tired of the fucking racism bullshit coming on white people, where we just want to be left alone. You know, we have this push of mixed races with whites, and that's why we're pushing back. And sometimes we push back. The truth is going to hurt people, but an Asian woman doesn't prefer Asian men and prefers white men over Asian men. That should not be a surprise.
American boy, my son, standing up dating white guys. It's cool.
Filipinos.
I gotta do this one.
We see a lot of Asian women dating white guys.
So she's a comedian. I've seen her before. She's she's Dongbei, 中国Dongbei. Dongbei is the northeastern part. It's, in a way, it's sort of like America saying you're from Alabama, even though that's the South. In China, it's the Northeast. This would be Heilongjiang province, Jilin, man, I'm forgetting the other, Liaoning province. And it's hard to, it's like saying you're from Alabama in America. They're a little bit more gruff, but they're also kind of redneck. Anyway, she's also a major bullshit artist. She's in America, and she does her whole Asian bullshit thing. But what is she? She's exactly the same thing. White man, white passport, white babies. It's basically her wish.
It's cool, fine, but like some of them would be talking shit about Asian men. As an Asian woman, because I have, a Chinese American boy, my son, stand in a place to defend Asian men.
I have to thank you for saying that, because so many people don't want to acknowledge, the discrimination against Asian men.
I think.
Well, like I said, to the Asian men, and I would say this, the racism in Asia is on a different dimension than that on the West. I don't want white people are so tired of being lectured to that we are racist, that our country is racist. The West is the least racist countries on earth. White people are the least racist. So stop accusing. So an Asian man saying, then go back to fucking Asia then. Why? Because you as an Asian man also hit the lottery to live in the West. But this is like I'm saying, white people eventually are just going to get tired of this bullshit. And it's also videos like I'm doing here where I've lived in Asia, and I'm telling you the truth. But white people are going to start getting more and more tired of hearing this bullshit. The Chinese world is called Tao Pai. Tao Pai is victimhood. Using the race car. Yeah, it's the race car. You're using that sort of thing. And white people are like, you know something? We have fucking spoiled women, immigrants, and racial minorities. Spoil them. The white man, we're getting tired of your complaints. You think the West is racist? Then go back to Gook land. That's what I would say. Go back. And they would be kicking and screaming if they had to. But that's where, like I talked about, the Asian man's the least sexy. I know it sounds rude. These are statistics, but part of the problem is white people. We've had enough of this bullshit, and we're going to start speaking the facts. And I go again. One of the facts is we're the least racist country in the world, and white people are the least racist. That's the fact.
I think Asian men are beautiful, so kind and generous. If we respect we love.
Okay, then you goop from Dongbei, then why don't you go back to Asia if Asia is so great?
Love the Asian men, respect them. It's just going to help them empower their daughter more.
Learning to love ourselves is so beautiful. That's why I'm so glad you acknowledge it, because it takes so much courage and bravery to acknowledge that exists. I have a lot of identity crisis growing up. I don't regret.
Of course they do, because these Asians in the West, they want to be white. They want to be white. And they can't be white, so they have identity crisis. I get it. I talk with these Asians in Asia all the time. They say it all the time. They call him Zhuangbi. Zhuangbi is like a pretentious bastard. It's like they say these. I'm talking with the Chinese. They're like, these fucking Chinese. They think they're better than us. Meaning these are Chinese from China, and they're talking to Asians in America, and they're pissed off. They say those fucking Asians, they think they're better than us because they have an American passport, because they could speak English, because they were born in America. They said no fucking difference. We're the same. They're pissed off. And you know what I say? Yup, I say I agree. I think you guys are about the same. I don't see any difference.
It because it made me who I am. The struggle made me fought to have purpose in this life. And that's why everything I do now is a result of that pain and struggle. You need to have purpose to do what you do, to wake up every day and make a difference in this world.
Listen, I'm a strong believer.
Asian men, and they're all just fucking white dudes, basically. Like, what does it say? The most basic white dude getting with a fucking, like, decent-looking Asian girl is, like, the classic thing, right? But essentially, Asian men are kind of getting bled out, and the Asian women are essentially absorbing into the white race, effectively. But I do think that's kind of fucked up that, like, Asian men are getting betrayed by their women. That's kind of insane to me.
Well, like I said, to the Asian men, at first, I had agreed with you, and I supported you, but I'm telling you, an Asian man able to get with a white woman, he will also betray Asian women. If an Asian man is able to get with a white woman and have mixed kids with a white woman, bye-bye, Asian women. Bye-bye. And because you Asian men are doing that, guess what? It's called karma. So basically, Asian women don't have loyalty to you. You don't have loyalty to them. Look at me. I'm in Asia. I'd have over fucking 100 kids by now. Never. Not interested. I'm not having any mixed kids with any Asian women. And so the point is, in some ways, I still have a loyalty to white women. Their attitudes are fucking horrible thanks to feminism. But I've always in my life put white women on the highest status. You Asian men, if push came to shove, and you could, the problem is most of you can never even dream of getting a white woman. But if you could, you would dump Asian women in a heartbeat. So that's why I don't have that much sympathy for you.
Like a crazy extent.
PSA for all the Asian girlies. PSA for all the Asian girlies. If you are not a Asian girly, scroll away. This warning does not pertain to you. Hey, babe. So you know that white boyfriend you're with that you maybe want to have babies with one day? This is your warning. I am what your baby would look like. Do I look Asian?
No, you look like, I still think you look like a gook.
No. 25% Asian is not enough for it to do anything genetically. My mum is a Asian baddie, half Scottish, half Chinese Singaporean. My dad is a white Australian man. And this is the outcome. Yeah. So if you want to grow a baby inside of you for 9 months, only to give birth to a white baby that looks literally nothing like you.
They want it. Trust me. This one, again, this is exactly what I said. You are getting propagandized by these gooks or half gooks or whatever in the West. It's a lie. If the baby, we all know that a mixed Asian white baby doesn't generally come out white. It comes out Asian. But every once in a while, I was fucking this gook girl in Beijing. She was with a white guy. He pumped and dumped her. He went back to America. She had a kid. And believe it or not, the kid's hair came out brown and the eyes were green. And oh my God, it was the biggest bragging rights you could see. So even if that Asian woman has a baby and it doesn't look Asian, it looks white, that was the whole fucking purpose. You'd be like, oh my God, it's a white baby. So I'm telling you, this propaganda that they're giving you is just retarded.
Be my guest. Be my guest. But you have been warned. Don't say I didn't fucking warn ya.
In fact, ask this mixed gook girl who she prefers. I guarantee she wants white men, right? So these mixed people, they're so proud of their Asian mix. Guess who they want to be with? A white man. Even stronger, they want to be with a white man.
Okay, I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to keep us all safe out here. Also, I've warned.
So basically, dating.
This is how you attract every single white man in a 50-mile radius as an Asian woman living in the South. Ready? You just go like, and again.
Like I said, her dream is to get a white man. Look at American flag. Just deport this gook back to gook land.
That's right, you do absolutely nothing.
Why do Filipinas love white men? I'll give you 7 reasons why Filipina love white men. First reason is they want to have half-white baby because they think that having a mestizo or mestiza baby is attractive. 2. Often white men respect and value Filipina partner better. 3. White men are good at giving affection. reason Filipinos are tired of
All
being
right, we
with
got
a
two more
Filipino.
videos quick. Again, once you've been in Asia, it's a broken record. It's the same thing. So when I hear people like, no, it is, it's like 99% the same thing. Here's two clips really quick, though. Here's the black clip. I'm telling you, it's weird. There's jealousy of black men because they can't get Asian women. And you know what I tell the black men? Fucking take the Asian women. Just give me the white women.
You don't see it the other way around, though. You don't see a bunch of Asian dudes. We live in New York City. I know you notice the Asian women love the whites.
Okay.
What? See what I'm saying?
She gets nervous because she also knows that white men are not necessarily liking the black women. It's an uncomfortable truth. I mean it. It's a very uncomfortable truth if you're a black woman or an Asian man. But because we have so much bullshit propaganda, we need to start telling the truth. But she's uncomfortable because she knows white men are not chasing black women.
Hey, like, can we be honest there? Like, you don't see it the other way around, though. You don't see a bunch of Asian dudes with a bunch of white. You see,
that's because the Asian guys can't get white women. If they could, I hear it all the time. Asian men tell me all the time how jealous they are. They've said this. They said it's not fair. Why can Asian women get white guys, but we can't get white women? Don't even fool yourself. If these Asian men could get white women, it would be unbelievable. It would be the new thing. They just can't get them. So there's not much loyalty with Asian men to Asian women. Outside of white women, though, yeah, they prefer Asian women. These guys aren't chasing black women, this and that.
A bunch of Asian women with a bunch of white men. You do not see a bunch of Asian men with a bunch of white women, right? The Asian women are kind of doing what I'm saying. They're like, okay, I'm going to get this white man. He has white skin, right? He'll dilute my Asianness with the kids. So they'll be half Asian, half Caucasian. They'll speak the language.
The blacks really don't like this because they're seeing this from other races that, the blacks are like, yeah, whites are bad, but we all know that's bullshit. And they're like, but they're seeing then if whites are so bad, why are all these other races chasing white people and want to become white? It's also an uncomfortable truth for black people to realize that, yes, my Negro, you've been spoiled too in America. Don't think so? Get on a boat back to Africa.
I can give them that Asian culture and I'll have that white privilege. Or do you think all these...
I don't consider it white privilege. I just say DNA. Let's just cut to the chase. It's white DNA. That's the privilege we're talking about. The child will have white DNA. Something that you black guys also want to do. That's why you're chasing white women, because you want your kids to have white DNA.
Asian women out there just, oh, I love these white dudes so much. Maybe they are.
No.
Now, if you think I'm crazy, the last clip here, because we're talking about how people want to be white, this is from Iran. This is an interesting clip, and this does not surprise me at all. I used to live in Lebanon. Same thing.
Diaspora who really...
Here we go.
There is a segment of the Iranian diaspora who really, for a better way of putting it, really wants to be white. He doesn't want to identify with the global South.
Do you see a repeating record here? The non-white world, the non-Western world looks on white DNA, whether a white man or white woman, and they really like it. You think this is just a fluke? Who's chasing who? Who do you think, if there was a poll in this world, who is the most beautiful looking man and most beautiful looking woman? I would say white people would come out first. Now, do you realize about this beauty pageant, Miss Universe? It doesn't make sense to me after living in Asia now. It needs to be separated. Why? I'm not saying Asian women or black women or Arab women are not beautiful. What I am saying, it's apples and oranges. It's like saying men are more beautiful than women or women are more beautiful than men. They're just not the same. It's a weird argument. Men and women are different. There's different beauty standards. They're different. Guess what? That's how I view with the race. We're different. Now, if you went around the world, though, who would come out on top just of this beauty is in the eye of the beholder? Probably white people.
It wants to belong to the mainstream of American European society. And so embrace of Israel, embrace of Zionism, being opposed to the Gaza war, supporting the MAGA movement, essentially is their way of integrating. And they want an Iran that would actually support their view of themselves as not being Arab Muslim, but being basically mainstream.
Exactly. The same reason that people don't want to be Asian or black. Same thing with the Arabs. Man, they would love to be Europeans.
Mainstream Western. And so it's an imagination of an Iranian identity that basically says Iran's history stopped in the 7th century.
Same thing. You meet an Iranian and you say, hey, are you Arab? They look at it as an insult. They're like, I am Persian. Again, the racism is through the roof in these countries.
When the Arabs came, we belong to that period. That's Indo-European, and also mainstream Americans, mainstream Europeans are pro-Israel. They're anti-Gaza, so we're like them. So that phenomenon.
All right, I want to wrap it up here, and we'll just say this: I do believe, from a sense of leadership, and I remember my father said this: you appreciate what you have when at times you don't have it, right? You appreciate food when you're starving. You appreciate a good shower when you're dirty. When you leave the West and you leave white people, that's basically China, you appreciate it. You really appreciate it. So I think it's great for white men and white women to have relationships. I don't know about sexual relationships, especially with the white women, but it's good. It's good to have friendships, learn other cultures, go live in other countries, learn from them. And obviously, everyone knows me, I am having sex with Asian girls. But I do draw the line when it comes to having kids, because again, so anyway, make a long story short, Asian fetish, Asian this, the title of this thing was, do Asian women like white men? Yes, of course they do. We all know that. And if you're a white man, by all means, have fun with it. But we also have a sense of loyalty and duty to white women. They've betrayed us. It is what it is. It's a complicated thing. Sometimes I think this thing called feminism, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. We all know these white women are spoiled beyond belief. So I get it. That you've heard this thing called the passport bro and fuck white women, and I get it. All I'm saying is, I'm telling you, you don't want to go down the path of having mixed kids. There are more cons than pros having mixed kids. But then some guys in China were like, but I'll never get a white woman. And truth be told, they might be right. We all want to say, no, you got to try harder, man. But try harder, these fucking cunts. Sometimes I'd say try harder is bash them in the fucking mouth. I mean, these white women are spoiled beyond belief. So we do have to face facts. Some of these white guys, they might never get a white woman. Just like we all know, a lot of these white women are going to hit the wall, and they're probably going to have cats for the rest of their life. It's a sad story too, right? These are sad stories, whatever. The black woman, the Asian man, it's a sad story. There's going to be white people, white men and white women, because of this cultural thing of feminism, of communism, that there's probably going to be, they're never going to have families. And so, meaning if you were a white man and you could see into your destiny and you already envision that you're never going to be able to get a white woman in the rest of your life, you're never going to be able to have white kids the rest of your life, then I guess have a fucking good girlfriend, I guess. I mean, it's, sex isn't everything, but sex does make life enjoyable. But it's really sad when you think about it, but there are going to be white men and white women. It's never going to work out. And so you're going to be miserable, I guess. Then, and I see these guys a lot in Asia, and it's kind of sad. But like I said, I just don't think it's going to get better in America until it gets worse, this system. And I keep saying it. We live in a communist system in America. If you don't believe me, it's called feminism. Feminism, globalism, this is all communism. So I definitely say my point about white women. I still believe the DNA of white women, it's the best. Feminism, though, oh my God, the way I get treated by Asian women compared to white women, though, it is remarkably different. If I could only find a white woman with Asian culture, maybe that could be the dream woman. It is what it is. Any questions? We'll go on from here. I see God. Yes, they have feminism, I don't think feminism is communism. It is, and to you white women, I don't think you realize how unattractive you have become through feminism. Like, obviously, I have multiple Asian girlfriends. The best way to describe our relationship is if you've ever been in the military, there's a rank structure. That's our relationship. Whatever. I'm the sergeant, she's the private, I'm the captain. That's it. There's no fucking arguing. I mean, like nagging, arguing, like all this stuff. Like, there's also a status that I'm the boss and you're not. And I'm telling you, I don't even have to give any fucking money to you. I don't give any money. That's another thing. If you think I'm even giving money, now I understand with a white woman, it's different, but the way Asian women treat me, I'm not spending any money on these girls. If there's any money being spent, it's the Asian girls spending money on me, 100%. And I can tell you, the way I've been treated by them, it's just, I think it's going to have to get worse before it gets better, because I guarantee if white women would be watching this, they would think that I'm crazy. Then again, the difference is I'm living in China, you're not. So, what's happening in China. And I think a lot of times is don't take advice from these feminists who live with cats. Now, if you're a woman who has a strong man, not a cock, and you've got kids, okay, then maybe something you're doing right in life, and maybe we should listen to what you said. But don't listen to feminists that are living with cats. So I could go on and on about that, but it goes back to the men. I think Asian women are fun. They do treat you good. You'll figure it out, but I don't advise having mixed kids with them. And we'll see how this goes. But anyway, let me look one more time. Might be just my location, but I see the internet input desired. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Part of the reason I'm trying to give you information is I even looked on the internet for these topics. It's so much bullshit on YouTube. This is what I've seen. Asian women are not into white men, they're into black men. I've never heard of that. Or Asian men are the new hot thing for white women. Like it's whatever is anti-white male. That's another thing that's so weird. In China, it is so biased for Chinese men. Like, it's even bullshit. Like, even the Chinese women are like, Jesus. I mean, they make the Chinese men out to be supermen in China because it's propaganda. But what is it like in America? It's the opposite. The people who founded and fought and defended America, our founding fathers, white men, Christian men, heterosexual men, Western European men, are the same demographic group. And it's not just in America, Canada, Australia, Western Europe, that we demonize. It's very weird. There is an evil going on because, again, in China, it's so obvious. The Chinese man is the superior man, which is fine. It's their country. I get it. But in our country, like if you look on the internet, like mixed kids, or I don't know, or you don't say mixed kids. You say, I want a picture of a family. A family. It's like got this black dude with this white woman and mixed kids. Like just think what would be I could go on and on, but I'm telling you, we have a problem in America. We know it. It's getting worse. I don't think it's going to get better until it gets even worse. And this guy, Donald Trump, I don't want to do a tangent, but this war in Iran and what he's doing, I don't know where this guy's going. But at the end of the day, there is a lot of communist propaganda, and a lot of it's directed because how can you defeat the West? If you could somehow manipulate it to where the white man and the white woman are not reproducing. You figure out what you've got to do. But if you can, at the end of the day, convince the people, force the people, manipulate the people, pay the people, indoctrinate the people, whatever you've got to do. But at the end of the day, I'm a white man, she's a white woman, and we don't want to have kids anymore. Give it time, and society's going to go down. And or get them to have mixed kids or no kids or this kid, something like that. But we have a major problem with white women and white men. And until we could come together to have families and have kids, we have a major problem. And I think it's going to get worse, going to get better. But I could tell you factually, Asian women treat me much better than fucking white women. Because I could tell you, feminism is not allowed. It's not allowed in Asia. I don't know. We'll do more episodes. It's sad where this thing's going to go. But let me see if you've done at least years behind reality, the ground, perhaps in generation. I don't know. I think the younger generations are going to learn from the mistakes of the older generation. I've said this. I have a feeling that the young white men, we keep saying that the young men are cucks. And I think we did go to I don't know generations anymore. I don't know millennials. I forgot what these generations are called anymore. But I think it went like cuck. But then all of a sudden, it's going to do a boomerang. And you're going to see young white men who grew up maybe sort of like me in China, like in America, more like a minority, so much of this bullshit feminism. And something's going to happen. And they're going to flip it. And they're just going to say, oh, my God, these guys are ruthless, meaning good. Like these guys are some ruthless white men. Like this generation that says, we are no longer cucks. We are not going to be cucks like the older generation is. We're not doing this shit. It could happen. That's what I'm thinking, because this formula is not going to work. And especially when you go out to these non-Western countries, you realize all the bullshit that we've been taught in America. And I say again, nobody treats women, racial minorities, and immigrants better than the West. Better. The West is the least racist country on earth. White men, we're the least racist country. Yeah, give a good try trying to do that in politics. People think you're smoking drugs. They would think you are the biggest liar or ignorant person. But you go out in the world and you explore and you learn, you'll realize that that's exactly the truth. So where is this propaganda coming from? This globalism, communism, feminism, the globalist corporations, Israel, the globalist government, something's happening. Or they always say that China, no, I live in China. That shit is not coming from China, not at all. This stuff is not coming from China, and I bet you it's not coming from Russia. Where is this coming? Because it's destroying the white race. All right, that's enough. We did on tangent on here. I think we're good to go. I appreciate your time. David Baumblatt from Terabin's Leadership, telling the Patriots out there, lead to victory.